Good morning, everybody. This is the August 3rd, 2022 morning session of the Portland City Council. Keelan, good morning. Please call the roll.
Good morning, Mayor. Good morning, Commissioners. Hardesty, Maps,
Here.
Rubio,
Here.
Ryan,
Here.
Wheeler.
Here, we'll hear from legal counsel on the rules of order and decorum. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Portland City Council. City Council is holding hybrid public meetings with limited in-person attendance in addition to electronic attendance. If you wish to testify before council, in person or virtually, you must sign up in advance by visiting the council agenda on the council clerk's webpage at www.portland.gov/council/agenda. You may sign up for communications to briefly speak about any subject. You may also sign up for public testimony on resolutions, reports, or the first readings of ordinances. In-person testimony may occur from one of several locations, including City Council chambers and the Lovejoy Room in City Hall and the Portland Building. Written testimony may be submitted at cctestimony@portlandoregon.gov. Your testimony should address the matter being considered at the time. When testifying, please state your name for the record. Your address is not necessary. Please disclose if you are a lobbyist. If you are representing an organization, please identify it. The presiding officer preserves order and decorum during City Council meetings so everyone can feel welcome, comfortable, respected, and safe. The presiding officer determines the length of testimony. Individuals generally have 3 minutes to testify unless otherwise stated. A timer will indicate when your time is done. Disruptive conduct such as shouting, refusing to conclude your testimony when your time is up, or interrupting others' testimony or council deliberations will not be allowed. If there are disruptions, a warning will be given that further disruption may result in the person being ejected for the remainder of the meeting. After being ejected, a person who fails to leave the meeting is subject to arrest for trespass. Additionally, council may take a short recess and reconvene virtually. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. First up is communications. Item number 675, the first individual, please, Keelan.
Request of Bob Salinger to address council regarding Cornell Road closure.
Good morning, Bob.
Sorry, it took a little bit to get on there. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, loud and clear, Bob.
Good morning, Mayor and members of City Council. For the record, my name is Bob Salinger, and I am the Conservation Director for the Portland Audubon Society. Mayor, originally I was hoping to talk about Cornell Road. That hearing got canceled and I got postponed, and that's become a moot issue, and I'm wondering if you would allow me to talk about something different at this point.
Yeah, without objection, Bob, go ahead.
Thank you very much. The topic I would like to discuss today is the city's floodplain resilience plan. This plan is currently moving toward the Planning Commission and will be coming to council either later this year or early next year. It's a little bit of a sleeper. There hasn't been a lot of talk about it, but it's tremendously important. This plan increases protection for floodplains in Portland and puts stronger mitigation measures in place when floodplains are developed. It's been under development for several years at the Bureau of Planning and Sustainability. And again, it is currently heading toward the Planning Commission this fall and then on to council early next year. It is a result of a lawsuit an NEDC brought back in 2011 against FEMA, arguing that their floodplain protections of local communities were not adequate to protect salmon and therefore violated the Endangered Species Act. That lawsuit was settled by FEMA, and they agreed to do a biological opinion, which confirmed that, in fact, local floodplain regulations in Oregon were not sufficient to protect salmon or resident killer whales that depend on salmon when they go to the sea, so are violating the Endangered Species Act. I'm raising this now for a couple of reasons. First, again, it is a bit of a sleeper issue, but it's tremendously important, and so I want to make sure you are thinking about it and aware of it. Second, we consider this plan to be a critical piece of the city's climate strategy, its commitment to protecting natural resources and to help protect, recover salmon, and critical to protecting communities as well, community safety and our economy. We're seeing a lot more extreme weather events, including the flooding that occurred this spring. In fact, I was out at Cathedral Park and literally there were people canoeing in the meadow at Cathedral Park. So we're starting to see more and more of these events. We need to do a better job of protecting our floodplains. Third, we're hearing that portions of the plan may be getting slowed down, specifically elements related to balance, cut, and fill, which we consider to be among the most important elements of the plan. We believe that it's critical that the entire plan move forward. First of all, it has taken years and years to get to this point. Second, even if the complete plan moves forward in its current iteration, it doesn't include industrial land, so there's still another phase yet to come after this. But we want to make sure that all the components of the existing plan move forward this year. And lastly, we are very concerned that there are decisions moving forward right now, especially at South Waterfront, in which will violate the Endangered Species Act if, in fact, the new rules and regulations are not in place. So I think the city and private landowners are in risk of violating the Endangered Species Act. So again, a real urgency in moving this forward. We appreciate the work that BPS has done, and historically Portland has been a leader on floodplain protection in Oregon. However, the existing code is not sufficient. And so just wanted to put on your radar screen, we will be making rounds of council in the coming weeks and months to talk more about it. But we really urge you to keep this moving forward and keep it whole as it moves forward. Thank you very much for the opportunity this morning.
Yeah, thank you, Bob, and thank you for bringing that to our attention, giving us your perspective on it. That was actually very helpful, so thanks for being here today.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Next individual, please, item 676.
Request of William Kendall to address council regarding youth homelessness and the artist mentorship program. They canceled their request.
Next individual then, please, 677.
Request of Fatima Magmadova to address council regarding Bureau of Transportation Division Street negligence.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor and honorable commissioners. This is Fatima Magamadova, owner of the Roman Russian Food Store. As I have addressed City Council in the prior testimony about our concern with delayed emergency response due to median barrier, I would like to yield my testimony time to Katie Guzenko, who was a gun victim on Powell Street near our store. Mayor, do you mind?
Are they there with you?
Yes, she's here. Yes.
Without objection.
Thank you so much. Hello, my name is Katie Guzenko, and I'd like to share my story about being a gun violence victim. Exactly 2 weeks ago, I was driving on Powell and 132nd when I heard a series of gunshots. I couldn't tell where they were coming from, so I continued to drive, hoping to get out of there alive. Going about 30 miles an hour, I felt a punch in the face, and I saw blood all over me. Immediately, I knew that I was hit, so I pulled over. I couldn't locate my phone, so I ran out of my car, pleading for cars to help. I yelled, "Please call 911. I've been shot. Please, someone help me." I made eye contact with several drivers who looked at me in horror as they continued to drive, scared for their own safety. Several minutes later, cars pulled over and neighbors came out to help me. They called 911, called my parents, provided me with water and a rag to stop the bleeding as I waited about 20 minutes for an ambulance. These wounds that you see on my face is the result of a .40 caliber bullet that punctured right through my nose. If this happens a split second later, I wouldn't be here. The detective on this case told me that there were two shooters, most likely gang members on both sides of Powell Street, shooting at each other, and I got caught in the crossfire. There are a few issues I'd like to address. One is that the evidence that the detective has sent into the lab has a 6 to 8 month backlog. If this evidence can lead to an arrest, this person's going to be endangering others for at least 6 months. Another issue is the lack of system to pass on evidence. I got a Facebook message last week of a driver who had a dash cam video moments before the shooting happened. She refused to talk directly to the detective, but was willing to give me the USB drive with the footage. The detective asked me to drop it off at the precinct, and so I did, giving the front desk all the information, my name, my phone number, my case number, everything. When the detective came to pick it up, it was nowhere to be found, and it's been 5 days since it's been lost. There needs to be a better way to pass on evidence. The main point I'd like to drive home is with my story is the huge increase in gun violence since the police were defunded in June of 2020. Advocates for Defund the Police wanted less police officers, and 84 positions were eliminated, but none of which were police officers. Instead, they eliminated programs like the Gun Violence Reduction Team. Prior to eliminating this program, from 2019 to June of 2020, the average number of monthly shootings were 37. From then until now, it's now 110 per month. That's almost tripled. Ted Wheeler's plan to decrease gun violence by 10% in 2 years is an incredibly low target when comparing it to how much it's increased. And Mayor, given that you call this a gun violence emergency, I feel like very little is being done.
Thank you. I'll turn this over to Commissioner Mapps in a moment. But first of all, I just want to say that I am so glad to see you in person And I'm glad to hear that you're on the road to recovery. I know it's a long one, and what you've been through, nobody should ever have to be through. And so I'm sorry that this happened to you. And I wish you a very, very fast recovery from your wounds. Second of all, with regard to gun violence, it is an emergency, and I want you to know that I am working with a large group of individuals, not only within law enforcement, our federal partners, our local partners, the Portland Police Bureau, the newly established Focused Intervention Team, the newly established Enhanced Community Safety Team. We're engaging more with community than we ever have in the past. I am seeking to advocate for and push for 300 new personnel in the Portland Police Bureau over 3 years. That is a stretch goal, but it is one we need to continue to aim towards. And I was pleased that my colleagues unanimously passed a budget this year that included funding for additional officers and additional support for gun violence. I do want to mention the 10% per year over the next 2 years, because I know people are used to politicians saying, we're going to end this and we're going to end this tomorrow. And I just reached a point in my life and in my political career where I don't think it's worth it for us to bullshit people. I think we have to be honest about how complex this issue is, how much coordination and investment needs to be made in order for us to be able to turn the tide on this. But what I want you to hear from me personally is I am deeply committed to making sure that we reduce gun violence. 10% per year, that's just the bottom threshold. I hope we do much better than that. And the people that I'm working with are highly motivated to do much better than that. But I'd rather overpromise or underpromise and overdeliver than the opposite. But again, really the main thing for me here today is it brings me joy to see you here and to know that you're doing all right. And we owe it to you and to every member of this community to make sure that we do everything we can to reduce gun violence. And you have my personal word on that. Thank you. Commissioner Mapps.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I just want to underscore everything that the mayor shared. First, I just want to say I'm so sorry that this happened to you. I can't imagine the trauma, both physical and mental, that you have endured. And I am also very glad to see that you're with us today and on the mend. I also want to thank you for your very thoughtful and frankly very constructive suggestions for improving our public safety system. I'm glad you brought to our attention the evidence backlog, the lack of systems for following up and passing along evidence. And I hear and agree with your call that we need to do more to combat gun violence. I also want to take the moment to thank the mayor. I know he is taking this topic seriously. We've rolled out several initiatives over the past several weeks and months, and I think I've been here a year and a half. It's been a constant topic of conversation and action. You deserve better. Portland deserves better. I'm deeply committed to reducing gun violence in this city, and I know my colleagues on council are too. So thank you so much for joining us today, and please take care.
Thank you. Next individual, please, item 678, please, Keelan.
Request of Robert Butler to address council regarding Bureau of Transportation negligence.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor and hardworking commissioners. Again, I say we have the best assets in probably the United States for the makings of a great mayor, and I hope your leadership and your followers can live up to your potential. I'm going to talk about another street, which is Division. It may be more of a shooting gallery than Powell, quite frankly, but I'm going to talk about the fact that the median has been put in a lot of places on Southwest Division. We've been talking to Southeast, and we've been talking to individually to the victims of this project, of a median being built in front of their store, and half of their customers have to take detours if they still want to come to them. They're mad as hell. Mad as hell. They think the Bureau bureaucracy of transportation is totally incompetent. And I dare you to go out there and talk to them. So we're finding that 30 to 50% of the retailers, no, all of the retailers that are retailing are losing 30 to 50% of their business. 30% is kind of the average. If you have drive-through or a lot of customers, you're losing 50%. So there is a drive-through that has lost 50%. It's a national company. They're going to get rid of their employees by attrition, but they have to get rid of them, a lot of them. There's another grocery, oddly enough, like Roman Russian. They lost half of their revenues, and they've laid off half of their people, and they're still not making it. So I have to kind of think about what's going on in the world, and I wonder what Ukrainians are dying for freedom. We have elected officials in the most democratic country in the world, probably, killed. And it's very depressing to see in Portland where we're losing our freedom. And the freedom in this case is the freedom to be an employer, hire employees that need their jobs, particularly on division where they're low entry jobs. Some of them are broken English. They'll have a hard time finding other jobs. And like the Roman Russian market, we're going to let them go. They're going to lose their jobs. They could fall off the bottom rung of the job ladder and become homeless. Yet, with all our meetings so far, not one straight answer as to why the Roman Russian market can't have a left turn. It's project policy. That sucks. We would like and deserve transparency, deserve it, before all these employees are dumped on the street. I dare you to answer a good reason what your logic is and how it was applied. I hope you do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. We appreciate it. Thank you for being here again today. And our next individual, please, key in item 679.
Request of Thomas Buss to address council regarding bad actors in 340B pharmacies and Gilead financed hepatitis C focus program.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Tom Bussey. I'm a Portland resident. I wanted to address the commissioners today about a program funded by pharma giant Gilead Sciences called Focus, operating in Portland in conjunction with 4 major city vendors. These are most notably Central City Concern and the Cascade AIDS Project. Ostensibly, the program's goal is hepatitis C eradication, but the reality is this is a predatory racket endangering the health of Portland's most vulnerable individuals by lining the pockets of big pharma. I reminded commissioners that they have legislative subpoena power to investigate programs such as this, and the specific policy changes I urge, including posing gift acceptance policies via city grant agreements for city contractors to refuse certain pharmaceutical donations, and that city contractors operating what are called 430B pharmacies be forbidden from using the profits for lobbying activities. I further urge that medical screening that is piggybacking on city-funded programs be switched from an opt-out basis to an opt-in basis. Starting in 2015, Medicare started covering a new class of drugs that are mismarketed as hepatitis C cures. These cost Medicare up to $88,000 per course. Per the British Medical Journal, the Cochrane Collaborative, and the Oregon Health Authority, these drugs are not cures. They also provide zero clinical benefit, have never been tested against a placebo on key clinical endpoints. Under a federal program called 340B, nonprofits are allowed to create in-house pharmacies that purchase drugs at mandated discounts, but charge the full amounts to Medicare and the Oregon Health Plan while pocketing the difference. This law was passed in 1991, but when Bush pushed the 2003 Medicare drug benefit, Medicare was prohibited from using its purchasing power to negotiate prices. The two laws combined has led to bad actors in the 340B program. For Central City Concern and Cascade AIDS, pill pushing has become the true profit center of the organizations, netting about $9 million a year for Central City. This can be shifted off the books to unaudited low-income housing tax credit equity partners and used to hire lobbyists. A single course of Gilead's Harvoni, which actually causes liver cancer, has put one of Central City's clients I personally interviewed named Charity Snyder into a 20-day coma. The drugs killed 28 of their other clients through drug toxicities. For each person, Central City bills the taxpayer $34,000, pockets $12,000, and generates $22,000 for their funder, Gilead Sciences. Their mandated screening program is run by Dr. Andrew Seaman, who receives at least $20,000 direct annual payments from Gilead. Over the past 2 years, he has generated 1,000 prescriptions written to active injecting homeless drug users. They are enticed into taking tests with $15 Fred Meyer gift cards. 585 individuals simply disappeared, and the drugs were tossed down the toilet. They also conducted seeding trials by Merck under a doctor named Atif Zaman. And they used an unauthorized, non-FDA approved, non-regulated test created by a Vancouver testing company. It was an experimental test and no informed consent documents were provided for creating the cases. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate your being here today. And Thomas, this is not an issue that I'm previously familiar with. Is it possible I could get a copy of your written testimony?
Yes, I'll be happy to elaborate and provide that.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for being here this morning. Keelan, does that complete our public testimony this
It
morning?
does.
Could we please, let's do the consent agenda. Has any item been pulled?
No items have been
Please
pulled.
call the roll.
Maps.
Aye.
Rubio.
Aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Wheeler.
All right, the consent agenda is adopted. First time certain item, please, number 680, and this is an emergency ordinance.
Colleagues, this item comes to us from the Bureau.
I'm sorry.
Let's read it
Oh,
first.
I apologize.
Sorry. Authorize 9 grant agreements and intergovernmental agreements related to the Community Watershed Stewardship Program for a total amount of $100,000.
Commissioner Maps.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Colleagues, this item comes to us from the Bureau of Environmental Services. This ordinance deals with environmental services, community watershed stewardship grant program, also known as WISP. WISP is a partnership between Environmental Services and Portland State University's Indigenous Nations Studies Department. The program provides community groups and residents with small grants for projects that improve the health of Portland's watersheds. The program has been operational since 1995, and it has funded over 330 projects that improve the health of our watersheds. Today's ordinance authorizes Environmental Services to allocate $100,000 to 9 stewardship grants and numerous native land certificates. 6 of these projects will involve environmental education and stewardship practices, which will serve hundreds of Portland's youth and underserved communities. 2 projects involve educational and supportive care for unhoused Portlanders, and 1 project will work with incarcerated adult men in recovery from drug addiction. Now, today, we have 3 presenters with us who will tell us more about this program. We have Daryl Houtman with Environmental Services. We have Judy Blue Horse Skelton, who is the QUISP administrator for Portland State University. And we have Sophia Reyes, a Portland State University student and QUISP intern. Welcome, Daryl, Judy, and Sophia.
Thank you, Commissioner Maps. Thanks, Mayor Wheeler and members of Portland City Council. My name is Daryl, he, him. I'm the QUISP administrator for the Bureau of Environmental Services, and I perform community engagement in the Columbia Slough Watershed. I'd like to take a quick second to thank the 16 grantees over the last 2 years who've implemented stewardship-funded grants and 25 mini projects utilizing QUISP native plant certificates that brought the community together. They're truly among the very best of Portland. I believe we have Professor Judy Blue Horse Skelton with us, who can tell us more about the Portland State University and BES partnership. Good morning, Judy. I believe you're muted.
Thank you, Daryl. Good morning, Tatsmewi. I'm Judy Blue Horse Skelton. Good to see you, Mayor and Commissioners. Thank you, Daryl and Sophia, for inviting me. really excited, as we have been the last, 5-6 years, with this relationship with the Bureau of Environmental Services and our students who are in our Indigenous Nations Studies department. I'm Judy Bluehorse-Skelton, Nez Perce, Cherokee, and an assistant professor at Portland State University's Indigenous Nations Studies. And we're really honored to be part of this exciting community engagement project. Our students bring their expertise, they bring their passion, they bring their engagement to reach out to communities often underserved, underrepresented, who are learning about the opportunities to connect with the land, connect with water, connect with native plants, to heal their communities from the ground up. The projects are so diverse, so exciting. There's a lot of stewardship opportunities for children and elders to get involved and to become more familiar with this area we call home. And so it's been very beneficial. I want to share this morning that because of this relationship with BES and our students' work and community engagement, Portland State University, we've approved a new Indigenous Traditional Ecological and Cultural Knowledge Certificate. It will start this fall, and it's a 1-year certificate for students like Sophia and her predecessors and students who are coming from all over the country. Now that Portland State University has announced that all tribal members from around the country, nearly 600 different federal tribes, will receive in-state tuition at Portland State. So it's really an exciting time. And partnerships like this is what's having an impact, not just regionally, but nationally. So just want to acknowledge not only the career pathways and the new opportunities to study exactly the kind of work that the Bureau of Environmental Services has been doing in reclaiming wetlands and reclaiming other areas and engaging with folks who are new to the community, but also folks who may not feel that they have belonged, and it's exciting. So Katsiyawyao, I will stop, and I'm really honored for Sophia Reyes to share some of their work and the projects. Katsiyawyao.
Hello, Council. I'm Sophia Reyes. I use they, ella pronouns, and I'm a student at PSU of Social Science, Climate Change Science and Adaptation, and Indigenous Nations Studies. Thank you so much for having us here today. I will tell you a little bit about the 9 different local community organizations we wish to fund with the Community Watershed Stewardship Grant. So first up is ELSO, Inc. This is an organization that allows for Black identified youth to participate in environmental education experiences led by peer mentors, including water quality investigations, natural area revegetation, garden installation, and invasive species removal. Gather Make Shelter will work with community partners to bring exploration and learning opportunities in the Columbia Slough watershed's natural areas to unhoused community members who participate in Gather Make Shelter services. Next slide, please. Green Lens will expand tree cover at Lent Elementary School to provide heat relief and reduce air and noise pollution from the nearby I-205 and connect the community to urban ecology and environmental justice. Offerings will include multilingual access. Grow Portland will partner with Indigenous community members to develop native planting designs, create education curricula, and enhance planting species at multiple garden sites. Next slide, please. Growing Gardens will work with inmates and correctional officers at the Columbia River Correctional Institution to build a garden and a bioswale. The project teaches healthy watershed gardening practices, providing inmates who are in a recovery program with an increased sense of environmental knowledge and awareness, job credentials, self-agency, and healing. The Lower Columbia Estuary Partnership will provide 4th and 5th grade students from a predominantly low-income school with hands-on classroom science lessons, followed by a field trip to experience local wildlife, reinforce classroom learning, and engage in a native plant restoration project. Next slide, please. The Social Justice Action Center will create a native plant habitat at the center to provide a safe green space where service recipients and volunteers can take refuge and learn about the beneficial functions of native plantings and derive inspiration from the experience. The Tryon Creek Watershed Council involves immigrant youth in education and on-the-ground watershed restoration and training. Workshops involve an introduction to watershed science and stewardship projects to remove invasive plants and plant natives. Next slide, please. And finally, the World Salmon Council brings students from the Blueprint Foundation, Native American Youth and Family Center, Latino Network, and Girl Scouts to mark storm drains, plant trees, and restore riparian areas to learn about and participate in salmon saving contributions. So those are the 9 local organizations and some of the faces of people that will be impacted by this decision. It's been lovely being with you here today, and thank you so much for your time.
That is all we have today. With that, I think we are prepared to answer any questions or simply vote on the matter.
Let me see if we have public testimony on this item. Do we?
No one signed up.
All right, very good. Any further questions? Commissioner Ryan has a question.
This might be for actually my 2 colleagues on this end. Is there any overlap with dialogue between PSEF and these investments? They just seem similar in terms of being forward-thinking about the climate crisis.
I would say there's definitely, well, number one, this program predates PSEF by many years. This has been around since 1995, and so this is we're north of 300 grants. Certainly, there's an awful lot of overlap between the kinds of programs that we're funding and the kinds of programs PSEF is funding. One critical difference is just the size. You'll notice that we're just spending $100,000 today. The grants that we give out through this program, I believe, range from 500 to 12 to 12.
That's right.
And this might also be an appropriate time for me to kick it over to staff, so who actually know what they're talking about. Anything to add?
We're aware of some of those overlaps, Commissioner. And some of them are grantees this year. Some of the participants continue to participate with QUISP because of our orientation to service and making the process easy. And so we're thrilled to continue to work with those grantees who are receiving larger sums from other programs.
I'm just excited about connecting the dots with all of you, and it's exciting to keep building efficiency and leverage with these investments. Yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate your coming in and giving us a little more detail on this. It looked good, top line. The details make it look even better. So thank you, appreciate it very much. There's no, Commissioner Maps, do you have another comment?
No, I don't.
Please call the, Dan.
I'm just so excited about this presentation. Do you know the reach of how many students are engaged? It looks like a lot.
Yeah, I think we estimated there were well over 300 this year. Each year is different, of course, as the applicants have different projects in mind. It's community-led. So this year there were more student-oriented projects. Some of those include Green Lents at Lent Elementary, involved in plantings. And some of the other details are escaping me.
Sophie, it's great to have you here, and I hope you're having a chance to mentor some of those younger students.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about getting outdoors.
Great.
Very good. Please call the roll.
Maps.
First, I want to thank Sophia, Judy, and Daryl for a great presentation. Colleagues, this program comes before council every year, and it's one of my favorite projects. It's small, but it sure is mighty. I look forward to partnering with the rest of the bureaus in the city to advance our city's climate goals. This is a small step towards that. I think meeting our climate goals as a project that needs to engage all of our city bureaus. So I'm really grateful for the great work that's done by the QUISP program, and I'm happy to vote aye.
Rubio.
Thank you, Commissioner Maps and Bureau of Environmental Services for bringing this forward. And I want to thank you, Daryl, and Professor Bluhosh, Skelton, and Sophia for this really inspiring presentation today. My colleagues have said a lot about its potential, and it's very clear that it's meeting the goals that you intended to meet and changing lives and giving people a broader view of our responsibilities in this world. It's a great program. Very excited to see the diverse group of community-centered organizations who are working on it. So I also want to congratulate those organizations and also welcome the new partners this year as well. So again, just thankful for centering community in your approach. I vote aye.
Ryan.
Yes, Commissioner Maps, thank you for your leadership in bringing this good work forward. Thank you, Daryl. Professor Judy Bluehorse Skelton, it's so good to see you again. I remember this presentation last year. And Sophia Reyes, it's great to have you here as a student leader at PSU. I just loved hearing the firsthand perspective about the importance of redefining the collective relationship between the natural and the built environment. The career pathways and reclaiming wetlands, it allows the tribal leaders to share their wisdom with students. I love that we're learning and are working with young Portlanders. It sounds like 4th and 5th graders. I heard that a few times. And folks currently incarcerated to rethink green infrastructure. It really was inspiring to listen to your presentation. And I have to admit, hands-on learning is definitely where it's at. As someone that was diagnosed with dyslexia towards the end of my K-12 experience, I always found that it was the hands-on learning that allowed me to stay engaged. And I think I speak for a lot of students and teachers when I make that comment. Anyway, these investments give me hope. This is a city that we want to be, and I'm really thrilled to vote aye.
Wheeler.
Looks good. Happy to support. I vote aye. The ordinance is adopted. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for the presentation. Next up, 681, which is a report.
Appoint Vanessa White and Peggy Moretti to the Portland Historic Landmarks Commission for terms to expire August 2nd, 2026.
Commissioner Dan Ryan.
Hello, colleagues. Well, we have to change one of our appointments who just can't serve at this time. So she had to pull her appointment at this time. She's going to look into it in a year. And we were bummed because she's going to be a great public servant. However, that said, I'm really excited to announce the appointment of Peggy Moretti to the Portland Historic Landmarks Commission. Their term will expire August 2nd of 2026. Mayor, can you please ask the clerk, would you please display the slide with the updated title? This is what it says on my script right here. Does that make any sense? I think it means that we're now saying only Peggy will be appointed.
Exactly.
For the public record.
And we don't have a slide prepared. It will be updated on the disposition. But just to that really quick, we will need to make a motion to amend the report.
Okay.
Since you're voting on it at the end.
Should I do that right now?
Yeah,
Okay. And you'll tell me, legal counsel, if I mess this up.
I will.
I move that we amend this. We have to amend it first, correct?
I'm sorry.
We
yeah,
have to amend
right,
and then, right.
Right.
Okay. So I'm amending this to say that we are only appointing Peggy Moretti today.
Exactly. Thank you.
Okay, I second.
Thank
Any
you.
further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, please call the roll on the amendment.
Maps.
Aye.
Rubio.
Aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Wheeler.
We have solved our first problem today. I vote aye. The amendment is adopted.
Okay, moving right along. I just am excited to say that Peggy has a profession, pardon me? Oh, now I can go forward, right? I thought I heard something. Now it's my pleasure to welcome our appointing Peggy Moretti to the Portland Historic Landmarks Commission in a position of nonprofit management representative. Peggy has professional experience and working knowledge in the field of preservation through her prior work in the nonprofit management of Restore Oregon. Peggy is attuned to the evolving discourse and practice and policymaking in the field of historic preservation. She's very respected and very articulate advocate for preservation, and has a background in business and in lending pragmatism to her passion for old buildings. Peggy believes Portland's old building stock is a treasure that needs to be stewarded, and is excited about the role that these buildings can play in housing, equity, curbing carbon emissions. She has noted that when You do think of this work will outlive you. Peggy is also interested in looking for opportunities to create efficiencies in the development process. For those reasons, I believe Peggy is an exceptional candidate and will make a dynamic addition to the Historic Landmarks Commission. Again, Peggy's appointment is proposed to extend through August 3rd, 2022 through August 2nd, 2026. And so that concludes my presentation to appoint Peggy to this commission.
Very good. Is there any public testimony on this item?
No one signed up.
Any further comments or questions? I will just say I know Peggy. I think it is great that she's willing to step forward and do this work. She's a great nominee, so thank you, Commissioner Ryan, for that. Please call the roll.
Do you want to entertain a motion to accept the report as
Oh, I
amended?
forgot that, didn't I? I'll entertain a motion to accept the report,
So moved.
and I'll second. Very good. Please call the roll.
Maps.
Aye.
Rubio.
I want to thank Mayor Wheeler and Commissioner Ryan for bringing this appointment forward. I too can think of no better candidate for this position than Peggy. She's demonstrated time after time her deep commitment to our city and its history, and also a commitment to historic and preservation equity. And my staff and I have learned a lot from her. I know her contributions will be really valuable, and we're grateful for her service. I vote aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Happy to support this. I vote aye. The report's accepted, and the appointment is approved. The report's accepted as amended. Let's see. We'll move to the regular agenda now, folks. Item 693.
Appoint Sean Jacobson, Taylor Stone, and Terrence Hayes to the Focused Intervention Team Community Oversight Group for terms to expire June 4th, 2023.
Colleagues, for administrative reasons, I'm referring this item back to my office. Next item, 694.
Appoint and reappoint members to the Portland Committee on Community Engaged Policing for terms to expire August 31st, 2023.
And could you also read 695 and 696? They're all related.
Appoint Kiana Allison to the Police Accountability Commission, and 696, accept the Police Accountability Commission quarterly report for December 2021 through March 2022.
Colleagues, we have 3 community safety items to address today. 2 rounds of community member appointments and 1 report from the Police Accountability Commission. Before we begin with presentations, I'm moving to amend item 694 to add the bios and statements of interest that were updated with the council clerk yesterday. Can I get a second?
Second.
Please call the roll on the motion.
Maps.
Aye.
Rubio.
Aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye. The amendment is now accepted. With that, I hand it over to Director Mike Myers and Samir Kanal from the Community Safety Division to present these items.
Well, good morning, Mayor and Council. For the record, my name is Mike Myers. I'm the Community Safety Transition Director for the City of Portland. The Portland Committee on Community Engaged Policing, also known as PCEP, is a city advisory body that offers community members to give input on a broad range of issues related to policing in Portland. It is also an important part of the settlement agreement between the Department of Justice and the City of Portland. Ensuring its success will help the city achieve and maintain compliance with the settlement agreement. The Community Safety Division, which PCEP moved into and under on May 13th, worked with the Mayor's Office to evaluate applications and develop appointments. This appointment represents another step along the way to the renewal of PCEP. Applications on file were reviewed to ensure that the Mayor would have a pool of qualified applicants who are eligible for PCEP. One of the 3 candidates selected was eligible for youth membership, and the other 2 are for at-large memberships. Lauren Caesar is being appointed to youth membership for PCEP. PCEP has at times lacked youth voice, and now will have 2 after Lauren's appointment. Lauren brings lived experience and passion for these issues to the committee. Kevin Provost is a Portlander who works in tech and is as a relationship manager, a skill set which will serve him well on PCEP as it discusses often controversial issues. Robin Weisner is a pastor in Portland who lived experience on issues under consideration by PCEP. He is also a regular contributor to PCEP meetings and brings institutional knowledge to the committee. I'll now turn it over to Kevin and Robin to introduce themselves, and then to Project Manager Dory Grabinski to introduce Lauren, who couldn't make it today. Kevin? Kevin, are you with us today? And if Kevin's not there, I see Pastor Weisner.
Thank you very much, Mr. Myers. Greetings, Councilman, Mayor. I don't know if you can hear me.
Loud and clear. You sound great and you look great.
Thank you, sir. This is a great opportunity for me, and I'm very thankful to be able to do the work that is what's very important in building these relationships and bridges, and hopefully being guided with the experience that's around me. Everything will be according to what the city would expect from us as a team, and also a longtime residents here in the city.
Thank you, Robin. So Mayor, we'll move on to the next item, which is the Police Accountability Commission.
Very good.
So good morning again, everyone. My name is Mike Myers. I'm the Transition Director for the City of Community Safety Transition Director for the City of Portland. The Police Accountability Commission began its work in December 2021 and has 18 months to do its work. Having 20 active members for the remaining time of the Commission's term will help the Commission achieve its goals on time. A member unfortunately resigned, creating a vacancy in the past several weeks. The Commission is deep into the fact-finding portion of its work and is about to shift to developing powers, duties, and other attributes of the new system it will propose to City Council. I will turn this over to Samir Kanal to introduce the applicant. Samir.
Thank you, Director Myers. My name is Samir Kanal, for the record. I'm Project Manager for the Police Accountability Commission. There were well over 100 community members who applied for this commission in the initial solicitation for applications. This pool of applicants has been used for fulfilling the previous vacancies and will be used again in the future. It was also used to fill this vacancy. As Director Myers said, life circumstances change. Sometimes a volunteer must resign, and so a few weeks ago we did have a resignation. So support staff for the PAC reviewed the applications to ensure that council would have a pool of options who are eligible not only for the commission, but for the particular categories established by council in the original resolution. The member who resigned was in the small business category, as is the new appointee, Kiana Ollison. After candidates were sent by staff to council offices, all 5 council offices collaborated to support this appointment, which continues the collaboration that all 5 council offices have shown to this commission in the process of rethinking police accountability in Portland. Kiana Ollison is a great fit for the commission as well as for the small business category. Her work as a creator of a business which serves entrepreneurs and business owners of color in the city helps promote equity in the business community, which isn't always the largest part of the conversations around policing and police accountability nationwide. Additionally, her experience and skill set with event spaces and management will be an asset as the commission ramps up its efforts around community engagement. I'll pass it over now to Kiana to introduce herself. She's with us virtually.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kiana Ollison. I'm very happy to be joining today. I am a Portland native. I'm a PCC and PSU alumni. I 2018. Since then, I've worked with nonprofits to support to marginalized business owners. Now in the fall, I'll be opening my own business called Office Retreat, and it's a Black-owned co-working and event space. Opening on North Mississippi Avenue, which is a historically Black business. And so I am so excited. Again, it's called Office Retreat, and collaborative work. And I guess the last thing I will say is I'm very interested in community support, community development, and helping people persist even when there's a lot of struggles, discrimination. So I'm so happy I joined because I really want to kind of help rectify some of the issues with how marginalized communities, Black and brown communities feel at times. interacting with the police, and I hope that we can build more accountability and more trust between the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll move into the third item, which is the presentation of the PAC quarterly report, the first of which is for December through March 2022. I'm joined virtually by Commission Co-Chair Sophia Glenn and in person by Commission Co-Chair for this phase of work, Angie Tomlinson. So the quarterly report is mandated by City Council Resolution 37548. This is the first quarterly report, and the second will be forthcoming later on in the month or early in next month. I will pass it over to Co-Chairs Sophia and Angie at this time.
Thank you. And should I? Do you have the slides? Are there slides? Okay, thank you. Thank you to the City Council for allowing us the opportunity to present this quarterly report of the Police Accountability Commission for December 2021 through March 2022. My name is Angie Tomlinson, and I am joined by Sophia Glenn. We are both members of the Police Accountability Commission appointed by the City Council, and we were the co-chairs for the Police Accountability Commission during the period of time covered by this quarterly report, which was the Commission's organizational phase. Today, we will be providing a brief overview of the quarterly report and the work the Commission did from its convening on December 9th through the end of March 2022. Future quarterly reports will cover more recent activities with our colleagues who are currently serving as co-chairs of the Commission, aiming to present the April through June 2022 quarterly report in late August or early September.
Well, greetings. My name is Sophia Glenn. I'm one of the co-chairs for the first quarter. Where it is, slide one. So the Police Accountability Commission was created by the City Council and developed by partners and details of the Community Police Oversight Board, and it was authorized by the Charter 210. This section was created by an overwhelming support for ballot measure 26217 in November 2020. 82% of the Portlanders voted to support the creation of this new board, both to replace the current system of administrative investigation, discipline, and accountability, and to allow for the greater community voice and changing the directive of Portland Police. Slide 2, please. The commission was convened for the first time on December 9th, 2021, and we quickly established the idea of an organizational phase to set ourselves up for success. Through January, February, and March, the commission worked to achieve our goals. We developed values and goals for the work ahead of us, organizing the charge given to us by the City Council into different phases of work. And this has been in an agenda and a scope document, We're self-organizing by bylaws to govern our internal processes and develop a community engagement framework to direct our communications with the community members and other organizations. And during this time, the PAC held 17 meetings. It quickly became one of the most active parts of the city government at the time, and resulted in the adoption of a consensus for all of our documents. And concluding our phase, the phase one in our organizational phase on March 31st.
We wanted to highlight two of the documents here because we know community members and council members are interested in how the work is organized and when the PAC will get to specific questions. In our agenda and scope document, the commission organized the tasks given to us by City Council into 6 phases of work, the first of which was the organizational phase covered by this quarterly report. The second phase, which the commission is now in, is the fact-finding phase, in which we are identifying barriers to police accountability and best practices in Portland, assessing practices in other jurisdictions around the country, reviewing proposals for Portland's new system made by subject matter experts, and hearing from key stakeholders in the process. Following that, we will be a powers and duties phase in which the functions of the new Oversight Board and supporting city staff will be defined. After that, the PAC will determine the structure and details, including membership and appointment of the Oversight Board. The fifth phase of work will identify a transition plan, as well as how this entire system will fit into the city's current structure, org chart, and relate to other city entities focused on police and policing. And in the concluding phases, we will convert agreements into the draft city code text and take additional rounds of input from stakeholders and the community before approving a proposal to send to you, the City Council. Alongside all of these tasks is the ongoing work of community engagement, which is a key component of our work and crucial to our success. To anyone watching this live or on video who wants to tell us their story about police and police accountability, we have many ways to give input. Please go to www.portland.gov/police-accountability and click on Get Involved to ensure your voice is part of the development of Portland's new system.
Thank you. This is slide 4, please. One of the other documents we want to highlight is our values and goals document. We want to make sure that our proposed new system embodies our 6 core values. And for each of these, there are specific goals that the system needs to meet. Even more specifically, criteria that we will use to assess our own work against those values and goals and finalizing it and sending it to you. Our new system must embody equity and inclusion. It will be anti-racist, reduce harm, and it must be transparent and worthy of the trust of our community. It will be community-centered. It will be community-centered, and finally, it will be structured in a way to ensure its continuous effectiveness. Right. And finally, we want to let you know what's happening next. The fact-finding phase of work began in April and is continuing into early September. Community engagement events are currently being planned with the community partners, and we'll be starting to hold those in September. And to give you a little more detail on the work, our colleagues who have our current co-chairs coming after us will come to City Council and provide you a report for the next quarter from April to June 22nd. And that'll be in late August or early September. We just want to thank you all so much for giving us this opportunity to brief you on our work of the Police Accountability Commission for March 2022. We look forward to our continuing work to honor the will of the voters and to creating a new system of accountability, including an oversight board for Portland Police. We're happy to answer any questions that the City Council may have at this time. Thank you so much.
Very good. Thank you. Colleagues, any questions at this particular juncture? Commissioner Mapps, you look like you might.
I do have a process question, though. Sure. And I apologize. I should have asked about this before I got here today, but I just noticed it during testimony. First, great presentation, great work. I'm going to vote aye on this. But I was wondering why in 694 we make committee appointments via a report, and in 695 we make committee appointments via a resolution. Is there a reason why they come through different forms? And I can take the answer outside this meeting. I was just curious if there's a technical.
Our lawyer looks like she may have an answer to your question.
No, I actually don't. I'm sorry, but I can try to find out.
Okay, I'd just be curious. I just kind of noticed that.
Well, that's going to be today's trivia question.
All right, excellent. I'm glad I could.
First person to email in the answer to that wins. What do they win? They win my coffee.
Free parking.
There you go.
It's a fair question. Is there any public testimony on this item?
We do. We have people signed up for all 3 items.
All right, good. Let's hear
them. First up, 694, Dan Handelman.
Good morning, Dan.
Good morning, Mayor and City Council members. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Great, thank you. My name is Dan Handelman. I use he, him pronouns. I'm testifying today as a member of Portland Cop Watch on item 693. Portland Cop Watch has no issues with the individuals being proposed to join PCCEP. In fact, I've known Pastor Weisner for 20 years working for police accountability. Notably, even with these additions, there are only 11 members of the 13-person body. This means that to discuss business or vote, they need 7 out of 11 members to be present, a supermajority. As PCW recommended to the PCCP when they began and has been repeating over the last few months while they've been struggling to meet quorum when they only had 7 or 8 members, City Council should set their quorum at a majority of seated or active members. This would mean their quorum before today with 8 members would have been 5 instead of 7. And then they could have voted on a statement to make to Judge Simon in court last week. The State Attorney General's opinion on this matter relating to a Department of Public Safety Standards and Training Board quorum issue in 1989 appears to indicate that an elected body such as the council can, I'm sorry, I'm getting noise coming back into my phone. Is there somebody else who's speaking right now?
No, we don't hear that, and you sound loud and clear from our side.
Okay, great. So anyway, it appears from the Attorney General's opinion that an elected body such as the council can set the quorum however they like. The council can also set a minimum number of members for PCCP so that, say, there are never fewer than 6 members on the committee in case that is a concern. The San Diego City and County Police Oversight Boards both have quorum rules set to the majority of seated members, so unfilled seats are not counted against the quorum. At the suggestion of Judge Simon, we reached out to the US DOJ to discuss the quorum issue, but council should really get legal advice from the city attorney and take action on this matter as soon as possible. Another issue is the loss of the community engagement aspect of PCCP. Throughout the pandemic, and indeed including meetings with over 100 people in attendance during the racial justice uprising, they used a regular Zoom platform to host their meetings. In that format, community members can see each other, or at least their names, how many city and police employees are present, and get a list of the participants. For their July 20 event, their staff for some reason broke that over 2-year tradition and used a webinar format, meaning none of those user-friendly features were available. If the meetings were in person, everyone could see one another. In summary, we urge the council to fix the quorum and to direct PCCP staff to be sure a committee whose focus is community engagement stops taking measures to shut the community out. As a side note, we're disappointed that the FIT COG nominees were pulled from the agenda today. That body has told community members that they do not have to listen to the public because they're the ones appointed to the oversight group, so they represent the community. That attitude has led them to propose 2 very controversial projects to council, the Shot Spotter and Violent Impact Players Gang List Program. Cop Watch opposes those projects and encourages the council to direct the FIT COG to be open to listen to everyone in the community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Next up for item 695, we have Philip Chachka.
Hi, Philip.
Hi, can you hear me okay now?
Yep, you sound good.
Okay, thanks for having me. My name's Philip Chachka. I am also a member of Portland Cop Watch. And just for transparency, Dan Handelman is a member of the PAC, just so you know. Portland Cop Watch has no issues with the new member to the PAC, and we welcome them. In the future, we hope that someone associated with houselessness in Portland would be able to join the commission. Related to membership, last month, the PAC sent City Council a formal letter requesting that you make a resolution to set the PAC quorum rules based on the number of active members rather than the number of member seats. Similar to what Dan said for the P. As you know, several police accountability advisory committees have either had to shut down or almost shut down because they were unable to make quorum because it's difficult to retain active members and fill empty seats. A change to the quorum rules would allow the PAC to keep functioning should member levels drop. In the PAC letter, they also requested that City Council maintain a pool of commission applicants so the City Council can expedite appointing new members. With the looming 18-month deadline, the city has given the PAC to work and that ambitious, highly technical task of creating a new police oversight system. The PAC cannot afford to be without a full 20-person commission. The first vacant seat on the commission took 8 weeks for the city to fill, and thankfully today's appointment has been much quicker. We ask that any other membership vacancies be filled promptly. I have attended the majority of the PAC meetings and appreciate the convenience of the webinar format, but would like to be able to see the other members and community members in attendance. My impression was that at the start of the PAC meetings, it was a little rough getting together 20 individuals to work together, but they built rapport and hashed out a plan. The first 4 months, they created bylaws and internal documents. Earlier this year, the city council decided that the PAC would have 18 months to work. That would end the PAC's mission in June of 2023. We asked that the city look into extending that to what the agreement was with the GOJ to start the 18 months when Judge Simon agreed to the agreement, which would conclude the PAC's mission on October 29th, 2023, giving the PAC a couple extra months. I appreciate the PAC's work. I think they're serious, professional, determined, and they have a lot of work to do, and some of it's highly technical. Please support them in the work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Last up, Philip Chachka also signed up for item 696.
I think I covered most of it. I'd like to also say that I think I covered it. I'll pass.
Thank you. Very good. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to accept the report, item 694, the appointments and reappointments to the Portland Committee on Community Engaged Policing. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Commissioner Mapps moves. Can somebody second?
Second.
Commissioner Ryan seconds. Any further discussion on 694? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mapps.
Aye.
Rubio.
Aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Wheeler.
I want to thank Director Myers and Mr. Canal. Thank you for the presentation today. As you all know, my office has been working very diligently with the Community Safety Division to better support the Portland Committee on Community Engaged Policing by adding staff, by adding more resource and infrastructure, as well as sustainability for the group. Today, I am very happy to see us appointing 3 new members, bringing the total membership up to 11, including our 2 youth members. That is very exciting. We're also reappointing existing members to extend their terms by 4 days to create a consistent timeline around appointments going forward. I believe these new candidates in particular are going to bring even greater community perspective and experience to the Portland Committee on Community Engaged Policing and more hands to do the important work that they are tasked with. And for that reason, I'm very happy to vote aye, and the report is accepted. Item number 695 is a resolution. Please call the roll.
Mapps.
Aye.
Rubio.
I want to thank Kiana for joining the commission during this critical time. And I believe her perspective will be unique and important addition to the commission. I vote aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Wheeler.
This is a great appointment. I'm very happy to support it. I vote aye. The resolution is adopted. Item 696 is also a report, and I'll entertain a motion to accept the report.
So moved.
Commissioner Mapps moves. Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Ryan seconds the report. Any further discussion on the report? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mapps.
I just want to say this was a really good report. I want to thank staff who helped pull this together. I think it's a real model for many of our commissions out there. For these reasons and more, I vote aye.
Rubio.
I want to thank Samir for all the work he's put into supporting this commission, and also to our presenters for the important overview of this work today. I also want to give a big appreciation to all the commission members for the hours and hours of work that they've committed to this process. It's very, very evident here. And I feel like for myself, the more I learn about this topic, I end up realizing how much more I have to learn. So that's why I can appreciate all the thoughtful exchanges and dialogues that you're having, and you know, it was a pleasure to meet with you last month as well. And I know you're grappling with some really big issues that are still in the works right now. The work isn't it isn't light and it isn't easy. But for this reasons, I just want to sincerely thank each of you for your tremendous service on behalf of community. I vote aye.
Ryan.
Yeah, I want to start off by actually kind of looking at all three of these as a whole. I find myself and many Portlanders get confused about the acronyms that were put for us today, and understanding why one needs to be made whole, why the other one gets built, and the importance of that. I appreciate the testimony I heard about how we could be adaptive to keep that intact. And I want to say thank you, Mike Myers. Director Myers, it's good to have you give that report. I have to do a little shout out to the good pastor from Maywood Village. Is it Maywood Park? It's he's a council member too. So the esteemed council member from Maywood Park, a pastor joining that PSEP committee, not to be confused with PSEP and all sorts of other acronyms. I had the pleasure of meeting with all of you last Thursday night, and I think a few things stuck out to me. One is how much time you put in to hear that your meeting is twice a week. And I got on there at 8 o'clock, and that's routine for all of you. And I know that you have full-time work in addition to this. So I want to just start off by acknowledging all that you're public servants and you're taking on a really, really big lift. And so it hit me when I was with all of you during that heat wave at 8 o'clock and hearing how engaged you were. Most cameras were on, questions were asked. It was a lot of engagement. Thank you. Thank you for your leadership. I also want to just repeat a couple things I said last week. You have such a big, huge responsibility. When 82% of Portlanders can agree on something, that's monumental. However, it also means that it's a very diverse 82%. And so you're representing a big portion of the city, and they don't all have the same point of view on what you're talking about. So I want to remind you what I have to remind myself every day, which is that I'm a public servant, and I must serve those that don't agree with everything that I do. Why would they do that? I don't even agree with myself all the time. So it's so important to constantly remember this big responsibility that you have. And I appreciated, again, the dialogue we had last week. I saw the sincerity in your eyes through the Zoom lens. And I just think that hearing these quarterly reports is going to be very important. And I really want to push how important it will be to have that consistent dialogue. When we on the council appoint people to these commissions, we have a lot on our plates. We let it go and we trust you as public servants. But the only way to keep that fresh is to keep having that engagement and that healthy tension throughout this process, whether it ends next June, I heard, or beyond, is going to be critical. And so I look forward to be plugged in at least quarterly, both in your meetings and when you come to the dais. And thanks again for your service. I vote aye.
Wheeler.
Well, as we all know, the Police Accountability Commission has a sizable and very important task before it. I've had the pleasure of speaking with the commission and observing firsthand the thoughtful manner in which they approach this really challenging work. I appreciate the significant amount of time and organization that's been dedicated to the effort by the commission members as well as the commission staff. Based on this report, it appears that the commission is making very solid progress on its strategic plan. I'm very happy to see that, and I look forward to reviewing the continued progress of the commission, and I'm happy to support its work in any way that I possibly can. And I have a sneaking suspicion you will not hesitate to let me know should that be the case. So I'm happy to vote aye. I want to, the report is accepted, and I want to wish you all the best. Thank you for your hard work. We'll look forward to continued updates. Thank you.
Thank you all.
697, please, Keelan. It's an emergency ordinance.
Pay settlement of Jacob York's bodily injury lawsuit for the sum of $75,000 involving the Portland Bureau of Transportation.
Colleagues, due to an unexpected staff absence, our presenters for this item are not able to attend council today. Therefore, I will pull this item back to my office, and we have the intention to return it to the council agenda on August 24th. Item 698, please.
Amend the Fire and Police Disability, Retirement, and Death Benefit Plan to expand additional cancer presumptions.
Colleagues, this is a non-emergency ordinance. We have Sam Hutchison, who's the Director of FPD&R here today to introduce this item. Welcome, Sam.
Hello, thank you. I am Sam Hutchison, Director of the Fire Police Disability and Retirement Bureau. Thank you, Mayor Wheeler and Commissioners, for the opportunity to present this agenda item to you today. Commissioner Hardesty and I are submitting this item to you for review and approval. So the proposed ordinance amends the Fire Police Disability and Retirement and Death Benefit Plan, which is found in Chapter 5 of the City Charter, to comply with the enrolled House Bill 4113 of the 2022 legislative session. The bill added more cancers to the existing firefighter cancer presumptions in the workers' compensation statute. The original firefighter cancer presumption bill became effective in 2009. The added cancers are bladder cancer, gynecological cancers of the uterus, fallopian tubes, ovaries, cervix, vagina, and vulva. The bill's primary focus was to bring parity between male and female firefighters and cover cancers unique to female firefighters. So there's a small number of female firefighters throughout the country, as well as with the Portland Fire and Rescue. However, there was a feeling that there were some cancers unique to women and female firefighters that should be included in this presumptions. The bill becomes effective January 1st, 2023. Now, the City of Portland firefighters and police officers are covered for work-related injuries by the FPDR Fire and Disability Retirement and Death Plan. They are not covered for those injuries under the Oregon workers' compensation laws. Normally, Oregon workers' compensation statutes and administrative rules do not apply to the FPDR plan. However, the legislature extended the workers' compensation statute for firefighter cancers to cover the firefighters covered by the FPDR plan. In other words, the active duty firefighters for the City of Portland. In order to bring Chapter 5 of the City Charter into compliance with House Bill 4113, Charter Section 5403A states that the council may provide by ordinance the additional benefits to be paid by FPDR as prescribed by law. So as a result of this bill, we anticipate a minimal increase in both the number of disability benefits filed and the total disability benefits paid. However, we're not able to, with any confidence, estimate the increase in claims or benefits at this time. While we are not able to quantify the additional cost, the disability benefits costs for stress claims are currently a small portion of the disability spending and disability benefits expenses comprise less than 5% of the total FPDR budget of $257 million. The FPDR budget has sufficient contingency to cover any increase in disability benefits resulting from this proposed ordinance. The general fund will not incur any costs as a result of this ordinance. All costs are borne by the FPDR fund, which is financed with a dedicated property tax levy separate from the city's general government levy. As I noted above, all costs can be absorbed in FPDR's current 2022 to 2023 adopted budget in the existing 5-year forecast. So if you have any questions on this, let me know.
Colleagues, any questions? Does not appear to be any questions. Sam, do we have any public testimony on this item?
No one signed up.
Very good. That's a good sign, Sam, that this is common sense and that we should all support it. Is there any further on this before I move it? Very good. This is a first reading of a non-emergency ordinance. It moves to second reading. Thanks, Sam. Next item, please. 699, also a non-emergency ordinance.
Authorized contract with WSP USA Inc. to provide professional engineering and design services for the Carolina Work Zones 1 and 3 Rehabilitation Project, number E11004, in the amount of $4,950,303.
Commissioner Mapps.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Colleagues, this item comes to us from the Bureau of Environmental Services. The purpose of this project is to upgrade the Carolina Trunk, which is a large pipe that runs from Barber Boulevard under I-5 to Macadam Avenue. This is a very important and urgently needed infrastructure upgrade. The Carolina Trunk is important for at least 2 reasons. First, this pipe is a critical part of the backbone of Portland's sewer system. Second, the Carolina Trunk intersects with our transportation infrastructure in an important way. You just heard me remind you that this pipe runs under I-5. Now, if this pipe were to fail or collapse, it could shut down I-5 for months. The economic consequences of that would be devastating for the entire Pacific Northwest. And I have the sad duty to report that our current Carolina Trunk is 90 years old and likely to fail in the foreseeable future. This project is about addressing that risk. Our goal here is to extend the life of the trunk by about 50 years or more, and we also want to increase this pipe's resiliency to earthquakes. Here today to tell us more about this project, we have Todd Martinez, Capital Project Manager with Environmental Services. Todd, welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner Mapps. Good morning, Mr. Mayor, members of council. This is the Carolina Trunk Rehabilitation Project. Before I get into the purpose of the ordinance, I thought I'd provide a little bit of project background. The Carolina Trunk project started with inspections that revealed severe structural defects. This map insert that you're looking at here, lower left of the slide, is the crossing Interstate 5. The color coding, the red being the most severe structural defects, orange being the next most severe. And then this map insert is surrounded by still shots of some of those defects. Here's a map of the entire project area. The center double red lines represent Interstate 5. The white band to the left or west represents Barber Boulevard, and the white band on the right, the east, is Southwest Macadam Boulevard. Overall, this project's not really long, about 1,600 feet in total length, but it's in a very, very dense part of the city, making it very challenging to work on. Major project goals include rebuilding the existing trunk and then providing a new crossing for future stormwater separation, thereby providing overall system capacity. Some of the major challenges for this project include accessing the existing trunk. It's very, very deep, requiring deep shafts constructed adjacent to or near Interstate 5. That's illustrated in the top section view there. And then the bottom, you're looking at an aerial view of the proposed project area, the crossing itself. The green line is the existing trunk. The orange would be the proposed new crossing. And you can see with this aerial, the proximity of the project area to existing buildings. So the solution to solving these complex problems includes the delivery model of construction manager, general contractor, who can provide constructability reviews on project elements and begin to provide costs for the different elements. Here are the approximate costs for the project and a schedule that shows the important project milestones. A note on the schedule, it's very, very aggressive considering the heavy civil design and construction elements that we're proposing. Previous council actions included approval of on-call task order-based contracts in the large-scale sewer rehabilitation program, which this project is part of. That occurred in October 2018. You might recall last November, the City Council approved the construction manager general contractor delivery model for this project. Next council actions will be the approval of the guaranteed maximum price, that's expected in the fall of next year. As I mentioned, we had been delivering the different phases for this project so far with the on-call task order-based contract. We anticipated during the last phase that the design phase for this project would far exceed the task order limits, and therefore we went to an open competitive procurement process. And we selected a very qualified team based on their experience with this delivery model and experience with the different very difficult design elements. And they came forward with a proposal to actually exceed our contract participation goals. So we recommend to keep this project on track to award the PTA contract to WSP USA design firm. At this point, any questions?
Colleagues, any questions at this particular juncture? Seeing none, do we have public testimony on this item?
No one signed up.
Very good. And this is also a first reading of a non-emergency ordinance. Commissioner Mapp?
I'm just looking at Commissioner Ryan, wondering if you have a question.
I always want to ask questions about these things because I was that geeky kid that liked those little science films.
Yeah.
But I would rather do it offline.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fascinating to me. And the urgency, like when you give these reports, it's so dire if we don't take action really soon.
This is an important project.
Right, exactly.
And it's also a complex project. I'll say between water and environmental services, I have many infrastructure upgrades in the works. But this is one that keeps me up at night.
Okay, one, I might have missed this in the presentation. However, it goes underneath I-5, correct?
Yeah.
Will we have to interrupt traffic with I-5 when that goes on, or are there special, I didn't think so, but
I'll kick that over to Todd. I don't think we have to.
I'm
Thanks
blinded
for
by the
question.
science. Yeah.
Commissioner Ryan, we expect a lot of the work to happen at night, and if there's any disruptions in traffic, it will occur at night. Maybe one or two lanes closed on Interstate 5 just to get vehicles access to the work area.
Sounds good. Just have my curiosity going. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you. This is the first reading of a non-emergency ordinance. It moves to second reading. Next up, item 700.
Authorize new construction financing for an affordable housing project located at 5415 Southeast 122nd to be developed by Northwest Housing Alternatives, Inc., or affiliate not to exceed $8,913,411.
This is an emergency ordinance. Commissioner Ryan.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. And this item is very exciting as we must build more affordable housing as soon as possible. This action will allow us to fund Northwest Housing Alternatives, Inc., to develop Powellhurst Place, a new construction affordable housing development in Southeast Portland, using Metro Bond and federal home funds. The proposed city funding leverages over $18 million of other public and private financing and delivers 64 units of affordable housing to the Powellhurst-Gilbert neighborhood, an area at risk of gentrification. I'm committed to anti-displacement work across Portland. Keeping Portlanders housed is vital for our community safety, our livability, and our city's prosperity. Thank you to developer Northwest Housing Alternatives, represented by their executive director, Trell Anderson, in the virtual room today, and our community partner and service partner, Native American Rehabilitation Association, NARA, for delivering much-needed family housing and cultural sensitive support services in partnership with the city and other stakeholders. I want to acknowledge how hard the Portland Housing Bureau has worked to enact the Metro Bond measure and spend these dollars wisely. I also want to acknowledge that this well is drying up and that we must think creatively as we think about further financing affordable housing in our community. And as your housing commissioner, I will lead additional investments in affordable housing so we can continue to build and continue to serve. I hope my colleagues will support future investments to continue the expansion of affordable housing, family housing, and permanent supportive housing citywide. And now I have the pleasure of reintroducing to this room someone who's been here quite a bit, but she has a new title. So today I'd like to introduce our new interim director of for the Portland Housing Bureau, Molly Rogers. Congratulations, Molly, and thank you for stepping up to serve at such an exciting time. I turn it over to you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ryan. And good morning, Mayor Wheeler and the commissioners. My name is Molly Rogers, and I am the interim director of the Portland Housing Bureau. I am pleased to join you this morning to request your approval for funding for the Powellhurst Place Affordable Housing Project. Next slide, please, Kaylin. Thank you. As a reminder, the voter-approved Metro Housing Bond Measure 26199 passed in 2018, authorizing Metro to distribute the bond funds to local jurisdictions to fund affordable housing. The Portland Housing Bureau is well on its way to implementing the city's goals for its eligible share of the Metro bonds. As you can see on this map, there is one Metro bond project already open, 3 are under construction, and another 10 are in pre-development. The circled number 14 diamond in East Portland is the project we are presenting to you today. Almost 1,300 units are open or in development throughout the city, which is 88% progress towards the overall 1,475 unit goal. Like Powellhurst Place, many will provide homes for families and households experiencing houselessness. Next slide. Powellhurst Place is a multifamily affordable rental project with 64 rent-regulated units and 1 manager's unit. It's going to be located at 5415 Southeast 122nd Avenue in the Powellhurst-Gilbert neighborhood. Next slide. Powellhurst Place is located near the Springwater Corridor and Leach Botanical Gardens. Amenities will include a central courtyard and playground, large community room, on-site property management, 10 car and 37 bicycle parking spaces. 12 of the 65 total units will be designated as permanent supportive housing, which is intended to serve those experiencing chronic homelessness. All permanent supportive housing units will have rental support from project-based Section 8 vouchers from Home Forward, and these will be supported by NARA. The project is on track to earn Earth Advantage Multifamily Gold certification. The project's environmentally friendly amenities will include its rooftop solar electric system, LED lighting, low VOC sealants, that's volatile organic compounds, adhesives and carpeting, high efficiency water heaters, Energy Star appliances, and low flow water fixtures. The project team is targeting to meet PHB's equity and contracting goals of 30% DMWSB, disadvantaged minority women emergency small business firms, utilization for hard costs, and 20% for professional services. Next slide. This project is comprised of 19 one-bedroom units and 45 two-bedroom units, plus one of those will be for a manager. 12 of them, like I said, will be permanent supportive housing, but also restricted at 30% of area median income or below. 9 of the units will be affordable to individuals earning up to 50% of area median income, and the remaining 43 units will be affordable at 60% area median income and below. And the manager's unit is unregulated. And the borrower will enter into a regulatory agreement with PHB in accordance with city policies to maintain the affordability of the project for 99 years, to comply with the city's policy. And then we will put on an additional 20 years regulations for the federal home requirements. Next slide. The proposed city funding leverages over 18 million of other public and private financing contributed by Banner Bank, National Affordable Housing Trust, and Oregon Housing and Community Services. The PHP funding represents around 1/3 of the total project costs. Next slide. Northwest Housing Alternatives not only is the developer and owner, but is also going to provide family-focused resident services, including housing stability support, financial education workshops, meal services, and social service enrollment. Charles Anderson from Northwest Housing Alternatives is here today and will spend a few minutes speaking with you after the presentation. Next slide. The 12 permanent supportive housing units in the project will receive additional funding support provided by the Joint Office of Homeless Services, totaling up to $10,000 per year per unit. And the Native American Rehabilitation Association will provide on-site supportive services for the homeless households, including culturally specific programming, mental health case management, and peer support. And the Joint Office for Homeless Services is providing the funding for that. So next slide. So we are requesting your approval of funding the project to the borrower, which is Harold Powell-Hurst Limited Partnership, and to authorize the director of PHB to approve amendments and execute any related documents necessary to advance this project. Hoping to open this up for some few words from Charles Anderson. Next.
Thank you. Molly, thank you and congratulations on the interim title. Good morning, Mayor Wheeler, Commissioner Ryan. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I just want to take a brief second to say thank you to Director Shannon Callahan for her work over the last 5 years at the Portland Housing Bureau, just recognizing what an important role she played in implementing both the Portland Housing Bond as well as the Metro Housing Bond, and expanding the Office of Rental Housing during her tenure at Portland Housing Bureau. I just want to publicly say thank you to Shannon and the partnership that she has created with all of us across the industry and community. Shannon has also put a great team in place with Molly now leading the charge on an interim basis. I also want to say thank you to Jill Chen, who leads much of the underwriting of the development section of the Portland Housing Bureau. We have a great working relationship with the staff at the Housing Bureau as well. About this project in particular, again, just so grateful for the funding and the opportunity and working with the Bureau staff. Just want to share a couple of notes that really excite me about it. One is this partnership with NARA, as Molly described. This is a new partnership for us. We have another partnership with NAYA in the Susan Emmons project in Northwest. But this new relationship with NARA is just super exciting for us. And we've already been talking with NARA about taking this relationship to other projects in Washington County that we're working on. But it's just such an honor and a privilege to be in partnership with NARA and NAYA. We're so excited about the 12 permanent supportive housing units. The NARA is being supported by funding from the Joint Office for staffing and supporting these families. And so what you're getting in this is what voters wanted in matching the Portland housing bond, the Metro construction housing bond with the Metro supportive housing services bond coming together here in this project, in this partnership with NARA. The other thing I just wanted to mention is in terms of our role as resident services provider, of course, we'll be coordinating all of that and facilitating with NARA. But overall on this property, as in all of our properties, just wanted to share with you a couple of goals. We track and report annually on the number of evictions that we prevented in our resident services, getting in front of those when property management has to play their role. Our resident service coordinators get in front of those. So we track and report annually on the evictions prevented across our portfolio. And you'll see that here at this property as well. Second, I wanted to let you know about a newer initiative of ours that we are raising grant funding for and creating our own tracking and reporting system. And that's around supporting the success of the youth in our portfolio. We started as a pilot project in 2 properties, one in Wilsonville and one in outer Southeast Portland, very close to this property. And our goal is to ensure that we're tracking the youth's progress by grade every year and supporting them in transitioning from grade to grade with the goal of having a graduation rate commensurate to their catchment high school. And I'm happy to report that in our pilot project, and we can't really take credit for this, but we had a 99% graduation rate of seniors in the 2 properties of our pilot project. That's not because of the things we did. I'm so happy to report that this is about the families and the kids that live at the properties and their effort and their focus on educational success. And we're just there to help. We'll bring this same effort to the Powellhurst property as well. Commissioner Ryan, thank you so much. I'll stop here and just pause to see if anyone has any questions. Thank you.
Colleagues, any questions? Not seeing any at this point. Keelan, do we have any public testimony?
No one signed up.
All right, very good. This is an emergency ordinance. Please call the roll.
Maps.
I want to thank Commissioner Ryan for bringing this item forward, and I appreciate the presentation that we received today from staff and the community. I vote aye.
Rubio.
I want to thank you, Commissioner Ryan, and Interim Director Rogers for bringing this forward. And it's also great to see you, Trell, and to learn about all the great work that you're doing. It's exciting to see bond projects like these come before council that moves forward into the next stage. And I'm also glad the Bureau is a critical partner with a trusted agency in this development. And I want to thank Northwest Housing Alternatives for its vision for critical housing services that are taking shape, and also lift up the partnership with NARA and NAYA to reach underserved communities responsibly and respectfully. So again, just want to appreciate all the work that's gone into this and look forward to seeing the project come to fruition. I vote aye.
Ryan.
Yes, thank you, first of all, Interim Director Molly Rogers, for your first presentation in your new role. And I want to also acknowledge how wonderful it was to have you here, Trell, from Northwest Housing Alternatives. The fact that you mentioned two things that were refreshing to listen to, and that is getting in front of preventing evictions and the methodical strategic work that takes place to do that. And then the fact that you called out 99% high school graduation rate at your facilities. Just the fact that you're tracking that is a new standard, and I think it's something we should be looking at all of our contracts and making sure that we report such good news. And that, of course, speaks to the partnerships that you have with organizations like NARA, who will play a big role in sustaining those family units, have the services that they need, so the wraparound services will help their kids move forward and have economic mobility in their lives. I vote aye.
Wheeler.
Well, this is a great project, or at least conceptually, it's a great project, and I look forward to seeing the progress on this, but it has the makings of a winner. Thanks, Trell, for being here and giving us a little more of a flavor for this. And Molly, congratulations on your interim role. You're coming in at a great time, and you'll have an opportunity to influence some of the best projects I think that the Housing Bureau will be engaged in the coming weeks and months and potentially years. So thank you for stepping up. Commissioner Ryan, thanks. Great work. Happy to vote aye. The ordinance is adopted, and I look forward to seeing the project come to fruition. All right, last but not least, item number 701.
Adopt and authorize the submission of the FY 2022-23 Action Plan application for the Community Development Block Grant, Home Investment Partnership, Emergency Solutions Grant, and Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS programs to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Commissioner Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor. The Consolidated Plan 2021 through 2025 is the sixth five-year strategic plan that HUD approved in the fall of 2021. The plan is associated with 5 annual action plans that are implementation guides for the annual grant awards. The annual action plan is a requirement to receive federal entitlement funding from HUD for our 4 affordable housing and community development programs. And there's some acronyms here: CDGB, BG, home. That was a place I used to go to in the East Village back in the 80s, that first thing I said. HOPWA and ESG. The consolidated plan, known as the CON plan, represents the Portland Consortium that includes the City of Portland as the lead agency and partners with the City of Gresham and Multnomah County. Consortium members submit individual action plans, so today before the council is the City of Portland's action plan. Fiscal year 2023 action plan is the second of a one-year action plan associated with this plan, the consolidated plan. Again, that's from 21 through 25. That provides details on total funding available by federal program areas for the current fiscal year and provides details on funding allocation by goals and by projects. By submitting this plan to HUD, the Portland Consortium is certifying that the funded projects and actions will affirmatively further fair housing and will serve the low-income consortium residents who experience disproportionate housing and non-housing needs. I am so grateful I get to turn the microphone over to our newly appointed interim deputy director, Matt Scheibold. Thank you so much, Matt, for your loyalty and your service to the Bureau and to the city. We're so thrilled that you're here today. I hand it off to you. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner, Mayor, members of Council. Good morning, and for the record, Matthew Schaubold with the Portland Housing Bureau. I believe we have some slides to share, but while those are getting prepped, I'll just say I'll be sharing a few remarks at the end of the presentation. I want to introduce my esteemed colleague, Dr. Uma Krishnan, who leads our federal planning work and makes sure that we continue to secure federal resources for many of the programs at the Housing Bureau. So I will turn it over to you, Uma.
Good morning. Sorry, it took me a little bit of time to find the unmute button. Good morning. Morning, Commissioner Ryan, Wheeler, the other commissioners, and thank you, Matt. For the record, I am Dr. Uma Krishnan, and I'm the staff lead for all things Consolidated Plan, Action Plan. And we have a really brief presentation here to reacquaint you all with the CON plan. action plan. And I'm sure you will not remember, but last June in 2021, I was here with Director Callahan, and I distinctly remember labeling the consolidated plan as not a page turner. A year later, it is still not a page turner, but it's really important. And given you just approved an emergency ordinance that included home funding, I feel this item is very, very relevant. So I will go over just the basics of the plan, and I can turn it over to Matt to talk about the funding and the allocation. So the slides will cover, what exactly is a con plan? And I had to smile when Commissioner Ryan said CDBGs, HOPWA. So these are 4 federal programs that most of the housing staff working in these programs can recite in their sleep. And who are our consortium partners, and the program, what are the programs funding that we receive? So the consolidated plan, we call it the CON plan. It consolidates 4 formula grant plans. It's one plan that can speak for all 4 separate programs, and it's usually for a period of 3 or 5 years. And HUD gives, it's a voluminous document, the consolidated plan itself, but they give us detailed direction on what to include. And importantly, it really includes the needs analysis and the market analysis that helps us set, crystallize the needs and set goals. So we mentioned these things together, consolidated plan, action plan, and it's an annual action plan. So the plan before you is the second of the action plan. And like the name says, it's an implementation document in which we tell HUD, this year we got this much funding, and these are the projects we are going to fund, and these projects will help us advance towards our goal, which we have set for the coming 5 years. The projects can nestle activities, and the Powell-Hurst that you heard is it gets nestled under a larger project of affordable housing development, and it's an activity. Once HUD reviews and approves the action plan, then they release the grant. So who are our consortium partners? I think there's always some confusion, but when it comes to the consolidated plan, we are a consortium, and we are the lead with City of Gresham and Multnomah County partnering with us. So the plan that was approved last year that speaks for all 3 consortium partners, but the action plan is specific because county and Multnomah County, that represents the unincorporated portion, Maywood Park, Fairview, Wood Village, etc. They make decisions on the CDBG funding that they receive independently. And here are the acronyms that you had been looking for, Commissioner Ryan. CDBG is Community Development Block Grant. It's the oldest of these programs, goes back to 1974. The HOME is for Home Investment Partnership. ESG is Emergency Solutions Grant Program, and HOPWA is for Housing Opportunity for Persons with AIDS. And these are the needs, really 3 large needs and associated goals. So we have a need for affordable housing choice. Then there is tremendous need for basic services and homeless prevention and intervention. And then there is a need for community and economic development. The associated goals are to increase and preserve affordable housing choice in ways that promote racial equity, reduce and prevent homelessness in ways that can mitigate overrepresentation of BIPOC communities, and improve livability through infrastructure, employment, and anti-poverty strategy. I'm going to turn it over to Matt to talk about the allocations and the projects themselves.
Thank you, Uma. So the table you have before you lays out our allocations that we're eligible to receive from HUD for fiscal year 2022-2023. As Uma has talked about, we have to submit the annual action plans to HUD in order to receive the funding. And we tend to do so after council has adopted the budget because our action plan obviously reflects the budget decisions made by city council. So you can see here the various allocations for the jurisdictions for CDBG, Home, ESG, and HOPWA. I would note that ESG and HOPWA are passed through to the Joint Office of Homeless Services for programs and services that they administer. We administer the home funds in partnership with the consortium jurisdictions. And then with CDBG, 25% of the city's allocation is sent to Prosper Portland via our interagency agreement that you have approved. And then that funding is spent on economic development and workforce activities. And we use the rest of the funding for affordable housing activities. Next slide, please. This is the detail on the projects that are funded with our 4 sources of federal funding. I'm not going to go through them all in detail. They are in the full document. They also are in the adopted budget passed by council. And I'll just note that you can see there's some activities that fund general program administration for the agencies that implement the programs. There's work around fair housing, workforce development, economic development, new affordable housing programming, household stabilization for low-income homeowners, and then services for people at risk of experiencing housing instability or homelessness, or are currently experiencing housing instability or homelessness. Our federal funds are not the largest portions of our budget or Prosper's budget or the Joint Office of Homeless Services budget, but they are critical components and they are ongoing funding we receive every year that helps us to maintain a level of service. Next slide, please. So the last thing we'll say is that we recommend that council adopt this ordinance so that we can move this forward to HUD and get the grant funds released. And both Uma and I are here to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you. Colleagues, any questions at this particular juncture? Keelan, do we have any public testimony on this item?
No one signed up.
Is the emergency ordinance, please call the roll.
Maps.
Aye.
Rubio.
I want to thank Dr. Christian and Deputy Director Scheibold for their presentation, and also the Housing Bureau team and all our consortium partners for the work required to submit this application. I'm glad we're taking advantage of all these federal opportunities and look forward to seeing the impact. I vote aye.
Ryan.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation, Interim Deputy Director Matthew Schaubold, and the good doctor. It was a great presentation. It's very detailed work, and you made it seem so easy to follow. And of course, we took all this action already in the budget, so we're just formalizing our work. I vote aye.
Wheeler.
Looks good. I vote aye. The ordinance is adopted. That completes our business for this morning. We are adjourned.